How can embracing failure actually lead to your biggest successes? Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks and one of the most successful entrepreneurs and investors out there, has got some powerful insights to share on this very topic. Throughout his career, he's been known for his innovative approach to business and his willingness to take risks that often lead to groundbreaking successes. You might know him from ABC's Shark Tank, where he's been investing in and mentoring startups for over a decade. And let me tell you, the guy's got a wealth of knowledge and experience to draw from. With a net worth of over $6 billion, it's safe to say that Mark Cuban knows a thing or two about what it takes to be successful. From his early days as a software salesman to co-founding Broadcast.com, which he later sold to Yahoo for a whopping $5.7 billion, Mark Cuban's entrepreneurial journey has been nothing short of remarkable. And today, we're going to dive into one of the most important lessons he's learned along the way: the power of embracing failure. The fear of failure is something that holds many entrepreneurs back from taking risks and pursuing their passions. It's a paralyzing force that can keep you stuck in a comfort zone, playing it safe and ultimately preventing you from reaching your full potential. Many of us have been there. We've got an amazing business idea, but we're too afraid to take the leap because we're scared of what might happen if we fail. The thing is, failure is an inevitability in business. It's a natural part of the learning and growth process. And if you let fear hold you back, you'll never get to experience the thrill of success. Think about it. Every successful entrepreneur has experienced failure at some point or another. It's how they respond to that failure that makes all the difference. When you're afraid to take risks, you're missing out on opportunities to innovate, to disrupt industries, and to create something truly remarkable. You're playing it safe, but you're also playing small. And in today's fast-paced business landscape, playing small just isn't enough. You need to be bold, you need to be fearless, and you need to be willing to take risks if you want to stand out from the crowd. Mark Cuban's approach to failure is refreshing because he views it as an essential part of the entrepreneurial journey. To him, failure is not something to be feared, but something to be learned from. It's an opportunity to grow, to adapt, and to come back stronger than ever before. One of the most fascinating things about Mark Cuban's career is the way he's turned his failures into stepping stones for success. He's had his fair share of setbacks, from being fired from his first job to struggling to find investors for his early ventures. But he never gave up. Instead, he used those experiences as fuel to drive him forward, to push him to work harder and to innovate even more. Take, for example, the time Mark Cuban was fired from his job at Your Business Software. He was just 25 years old, and he'd been working there for only a year. But instead of letting that setback hold him back, he used it as an opportunity to start his own computer consulting firm, which would eventually become Micro Solutions. And the rest, as they say, is history. Or take the time Mark Cuban sold Broadcast.com to Yahoo for $5.7 billion. That deal was a huge success, but it wasn't without its challenges. The acquisition process was long and arduous, and there were times when it seemed like the deal might not go through. But Mark Cuban persevered, and in the end, it paid off in a big way. What these stories illustrate is Mark Cuban's ability to turn failure into a learning experience. He doesn't get bogged down in his mistakes. Instead, he uses them as an opportunity to grow, to adapt, and to come back stronger than ever before. And that's a mindset that we can all learn from. One of the most significant breakthroughs that Mark Cuban's had as a result of failure was when he realized that he didn't have to be an expert in everything. He had tried to start a company called AudioNet, which was meant to be a live streaming service for sports. But it failed miserably. The technology just wasn't there yet, and Mark Cuban didn't have the expertise to make it work. But instead of giving up, Mark Cuban used that failure as an opportunity to learn. He brought in a team of experts, and together they rebranded the company as Broadcast.com, which would eventually become one of the leading online radio stations in the country. That experience taught Mark Cuban the importance of knowing what you don't know and being willing to ask for help. It taught him that you don't have to be an expert in everything, and that sometimes The smartest thing you can do is admit when you're in over your head, and it's a lesson that has served him well throughout his career. So what can we learn from Mark Cuban's perspective on failure? Firstly, we need to recognize that failure is a natural part of the entrepreneurial journey. It's not something to be feared or avoided. Instead, it's something to be learned from. We need to be willing to take risks, to innovate, and to push the boundaries of what's possible. We need to view failure as an opportunity to grow, to adapt, and to come back stronger than ever before. We need to be willing to ask for help, to admit when we're in over our heads, and to surround ourselves with people who are smarter than us. And most importantly, we need to remember that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to success. So what's your experience with failure? Have you ever had a business idea that didn't quite work out? Or maybe you've been too afraid to take the leap because of the fear of failure. Whatever it is, share it with us in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and innovation, be sure to check out our next video where we'll be exploring more insights from the world of business.